So for today, we have the pleasure of being joined by Zoe Theodosaki, and she's going to be talking about guided dream as a holistic learning approach. So without further ado, Zoe, I will give you the floor.
Hello, thank you very much for this invitation. And I have to say, I'm not so used to using platforms. You will see a few words about me. So if I might introduce myself, my name is Zoe Theodosaki. Yes, I live and work in the north of Greece. My educational and professional background is that I worked as an English language teacher for a lot of years, and then I moved for the past 15 years or so. I work in environmental and sustainability education, and my master's studies are in education for sustainability and pedagogics. And my master thesis included holistic learning and ecocentric pedagogy. So this is another picture of me, and this is my usual working field. So the picture on the right is taken from the last dream session that I guided in the mountains of Bulgaria. So the perfect site for such a practice is nature, of course, but today we will be using the platform and we will be extending our imaginations for that. So initially, this shift from formal to non-formal education has triggered studies in me on what we call holistic approach. The first time I came across the idea of holistic approach was in 2008 when I was attending a training on outdoor education where the 3H theory was introduced. And the 3H theory says that a person must be involved with the heart, the hand, and the head into the learning process. And it is not that clear what triggers what. So the starting point might be in any of those elements. That's why you see them in a circle, as you see them in the picture, because they are ever feeding each other. If we want to talk more about holistic approach, it is in more formal words. It says that a person must be involved cognitively, emotionally, and physically into the learning process. But if we want to put more detail into it, modern learning theories say that the brain is divided in two halves. I'm sure you all know that, you being teachers. Where is the brain? Wait, what happened here? There should be a brain in the middle. So our brain, imagine a brain divided into two hemispheres. I don't know what happened with the presentation now. The left hemisphere of the brain is more responsible for a logical, analytical, calculating, and mathematical thought. And the right brain is more involved into creative, imaginative, artistic, and intuitive things. So the discussion on what is intuition and what is intuitive understanding is a very long one, but there is a lot of bibliography and study in the role of intuition in education. And intuition is usually defined as the immediate perception of something without needing or being able to explain or to analyze it. In other words, I know that things are such and such, but I cannot explain why. And studies say that we all have had this feeling, but we are taught at school not to trust it so much. And unfortunately, we grow out of it as we grow older. Same holds for imagination that is not exercised enough in everyday school practices. Now, everyday modern school practices tend to over-exercise our logical, analytical, and calculating skills, but at the expense of the use of imagination. But this is very sad because American psychologist and academic Bill Plotkin says that man is primarily an image maker, and our psychic substance consists of images. Our being is an imaginal being, an existence in imagination. We are indeed such stuff as dreams are made of. Building on that, if we consider traditional indigenous knowledge, such as that of the Australian Aborigines, the dream world for the Aborigines of Australia was as real as the physical world, and their ways of developing community projects have been introduced into the Western cultures as very wise indeed. And I don't know if you're familiar with dragon dreaming methodology. It is a methodology that is becoming more and more popular, and it revolves around the dream as the cornerstone of project making. Another important theory that applies in education is embodied cognition theory. The body knows. In other words, the body, the senses, can also obtain information that a lot of times are so rich that they cannot be put into words. Words are too few to describe the knowledge that the body carries. And of course, the importance of emotion is very, should be present in every learning process, because if there is no emotion, there is no motivation. And if there is no motivation, somebody simply does not learn what they do not care about. As simple as that. One other thing that I would like to mention is the importance of reflection in the learning process. How we perceive a certain input that is given us, how we process it, is clearly a subjective process. And there are as many understandings as there are participants in a learning process. We, the teachers, we need to grow out of the idea that we feed students with the same material or one objective truth. And we should consider our task as being to expose them to certain material and then ask for a group reflection on it. What did each and everyone make of it? And when these are shared in a group, it is enriching for all. So today, after the session, we will attempt to make a group reflection and see how we have gained from that. So, my guided dream proposal today will be on an important topic of the science of ecology, and that is the carbon cycle, since ecology is my field of interest and work. Of course, the idea is that you take on this tool and you applied it to your own teaching subjects. However, my invitation for today is that you put aside for a little your critical thinking minds and you just enjoy the process, and then at the end, we can put on our critical minds back and do a reflection evaluation of it. So, in this session, I will attempt to take you on a tour around the three kingdoms that rule our planet, that are of living and non-living. And just to get this a little bit so that I don't feel so lonely, can we perhaps just a little bit brainstorm in the chat, what are these three kingdoms? What are the three kingdoms of this planet? Any ideas, any insights? Now I need to see if I can follow the chat. Anyone? What are the three main kingdoms of the planet? Animals, plants, and fungi. Very correct. Yes, microorganisms of emotions. Okay, I didn't think about that. But let's talk about the general overview. Animals and plants are two kingdoms. Yes, one is microorganisms, as in fungi. This is correct. But I was thinking, let's think about a kingdom that we rarely think about because it's a non-living one, but a very important one. So it depends on the classification. Animals, plants. Let's see. Animal kingdom, yes. And rocks. Thank you. Congratulations. We have everything. Animal kingdom, plant kingdom, and the mineral kingdom. The mineral kingdom are indeed the rocks. So I will attempt to take you on a tour and visit a little bit on all three of them. And we will also, in our dream, we will experience the three states of matter. What do you think are the three states of matter? Hello, hello. Let's brainstorm again, or like use collective knowledge. Gas, liquid, and solid. Thank you. Yes, yes, yes. So solid state, we will be solid state, we will be liquid state, and we will be gas state. Great. All right. Now, I know that most of us these days are very much used to multitasking. I know that you're in your houses, you're attending a Zoom, and at the same time, some of you might be cooking, might be helping children with the homework, might be texting somebody, because we are used to this. But for this next 10 to 15 minutes, I need your whole full participation, because otherwise a guided dream will not work. So I invite you to take some time to find a quiet, isolated space for yourself. As you are searching for this space, may I introduce some important vocabulary that is absolutely essential. I lost my presentation. Okay, now it's back. So that you are able to follow the dream. So if this vocabulary is not so clear with you, maybe you should check it in your mother tongues. Let's see. Does everybody understand what is an atom? Atom is the smallest, simplest unit of matter, as in the elements in the periodic table of the elements. Yes. If somebody doesn't know, they can look it up. So an atom of hydrogen, an atom of oxygen, an atom of carbon. That is of most, yes, great. And a molecule is a combination of atoms that form a more complex unit. For example, hydrogen 2 oxygen is a water molecule that contains hydrogen and oxygen as atoms. This is clear again, yes? And the word limestone refers to a specific rock formation, one of the softest. I'm sure you all know it, even if you don't know the name. The common name for it is chalk, and it is a rock formation that is that comprises carbon as well as calcium. Asbestolithos, yeah, thank you, in Greek. The Greek name is indeed that. If you don't know the name, maybe you should take a minute to check it in your mother tongues so as to have an image of what it is. Now, a carbohydrate is a combination of carbon and hydrogen to form organic matter, and it is the building block of all living organisms. And sugar is another way to speak about carbohydrates. It's a very simple form of carbohydrate. Don't worry too much about it, just so that the words are not totally unknown to you. And a cell is the building block that forms all living bodies. Our body consists of cells. And a shell that should be distinguished from a cell is the hard cover of sea creatures, and we will be also needing this. So make sure you understand the difference between a cell and a shell. Are we okay? Does anybody need time to perhaps look up vocabulary? Or I could move on. All right, so let's enter the dream. Maybe I will also turn off my camera now. And I invite you to take a comfortable position. Either lie back on your chair with your feet touching the ground, or lie down completely. You could switch off your mobile phone for the next 10 to 15 minutes and allow yourself to take deep, long breaths, and by closing your eyes, to move into the powerful realm of your imagination, the place where everything is possible and where you can create a reality. You can perhaps travel with your imagination to the beautiful forest spot in the first picture, or any other beautiful spot of your own. You can be anywhere. Focus on your body. Feel your neck relaxing. Feel your arms resting. Feel your face muscles relax. Feel your back against a chair or bed or pillow. Experience your whole body and the sensation of being you. Now, you start becoming smaller and smaller and smaller. You shrink so much that you are no longer visible. You start to become a part of the microcosm. You are now a very simple form of existence. You are a carbon atom. You are a carbon atom locked up in limestone rock at the bottom of the sea. For the last 300 million years, you have experienced nothing but the cold pressure and quietness of rock around you. Nothing but the ancient, peaceful silence of the rock. No movement, no sound, no change. Settle into this feeling of tranquility that surrounds you. Suddenly, you experience a slow sinking feeling as the sea floor that carries you from below slowly approaches the edge of land, dragging you downwards into the depths of the earth. Feel the temperature and pressure increasing as you sink down into the dark depths. It's so hot now that the limestone you belong to begins to melt. Feel the intense heat and pressure. The chemical bonds that hold you to your limestone now begin to vibrate with intensity. You are shaking. The shaking is so extreme that you realize you are being set free from the limestone. You feel awake and excited. What's going to happen now, you think? Two free oxygen atoms pass by and you quickly bond with both of them to feel more complete. Feel the sensation of being complete and now being part of a carbon dioxide molecule. You feel so light that you think you can fly. Now the red-hot molten rock around you flows quickly upwards. You travel faster and faster through a great wide opening in Earth's crust, a volcano. The sound of rock and gas moving upwards in this volcano makes you deaf. The sound becomes even stronger. You travel faster and faster, and higher, closer and closer to a new life that you know will soon open up for you. You are right in the heart of a massive volcanic eruption. A huge release of energy sends you high into the air along with vast amounts of smoke, ash, and red-hot lava. Wow! You are so high up in the sky now. You look down at the smoking volcano far below. How did I get this far so quickly? You move freely in the air, and the air becomes warm with your presence as your carbon dioxide molecule is able to catch the sun's warmth and keep it in the atmosphere. Great air currents carry you to the north, and for weeks you travel high above the seas and forests. You enjoy the delicious freedom of travel, wondering at the amazing views of mountains, forests, and oceans below you. How the planet has changed since you were last here up in the sky. Some 300 million years ago, when the first four-legged creatures started walking upon the earth. Finally, the wind carries you toward a mountaintop. You move closer and closer to the ground and swim past a beautiful green tree with lovely yellow flowers. You brush against a small mouth on the underside of a leaf, and the leaf catches you in a tiny in-breath that sucks you into the transparent green interior of the leaf. And as you leave the atmosphere, the earth becomes just a little bit cooler. Inside the leaf, all around you is green. Giant molecular beings surround you and take you to a great green chamber deep in the cell, the chloroplast. A blinding flash of sunlight shakes you to your core. Wow, photosynthesis. You are joined to other carbon and hydrogen atoms, and you now form a sugar molecule. You are part of a carbohydrate. These bonds that bind you to your fellow atoms hold the sun's energy. The sugar molecule that you now belong to will begin a new journey through the juice of the tree, downward and downward to the tree roots. You feel yourself being pulled downwards, slowly moving. Slowly you move through the tree veins, ever downwards, inside this flow of juice that goes on inside the tree in spring. You reach the very tip of a growing root and pass into a growing cell. All around you there is frenetic activity as new root cells are made, pushing the root ever further to look for water and for nutrients. Your root finds a crack in the rock beneath the soil. It breaks into the crack, splitting the rock as it swells. Wow! Once again, oxygen atoms embrace you, tear you apart, release the solar energy that you were holding, and now once again, you belong to a carbon dioxide molecule, breathed out by the root into the surrounding soil. There has been a lot of rain, and the soil is very wet. You feel a great attraction for a passing water molecule, and together you become carbonic acid, which dissolve the rock, release calcium that were kept in the rock. You feel irresistibly attracted to one of these calcium atoms as it moves near you. You bond with it, and you become liquid limestone, liquid chalk. You are pulled downwards by the flow of groundwater. Now your great river journey begins. You hear the sound of moving water, and suddenly you enter the flow of the river as it tumbles over great rocks and waterfalls on its way to the sea. In the cool surface waters of the sea, you are immediately taken by small sea creatures that need liquid chalk to make their tiny shells. You soon become part of one of these hard shells. The sea creature lives only very little, and after its short life, it dies and starts sinking towards the bottom of the sea. You slowly sink toward the ocean deeps. Oh, the journey in the air was so short. What memories! Sinking and sinking into the depths. You leave behind the sunlight of the sea surface and eventually settle into the darkness at the bottom of the ocean. Slowly, you feel the heaviness of new deposits that gather above you, and slowly, ever so slowly, the pressure packs you closer and closer together into limestone. The great journey is complete, and now you must wait for another 300 million years before you once again explode into the atmosphere through a volcano. Taking your own time, please keep this relaxation. Start by slowly moving your feet, your fingers. When you feel ready, you can open your eyes. And as soon as you open your eyes, please take pen, pencil, paper, and write down the first things that come to mind as emotions, as thoughts, as realizations, or whatever you have taken back from your dream.
Thank you so much, Zoe, for this dream. Should we present also the Jamboard for the participants
Or
to?
yes,
Okay.
this
Uh,
presentation is over, so you can.
Okay, since I can't see the chat box because Teams is playing weird games today, Nikki is going to paste the link of the Jamboard in the chat box, and I will start sharing my screen after a while because the participants, apart from the paper and the pen or the pencil, are going to write their impression. Okay, so.
May I say that some of the first thoughts and emotions that come might be too personal to share. So you feel free to keep things for yourself. You don't have to share everything. But it would be enriching for the group reflection if you feel that you want to write something that is as unprocessed as you can, like first thoughts, first emotions. You have to put them in the Jamboard, and then we can dedicate some time to read them, if not all of them, then some of them, to see how subjective is the learning process. Or it is also interesting for me because this is the first time I have attempted this in a platform.
Zoe, can we go back to the first or the second slide, maybe, or to the third while you started the dream, because I didn't have the opportunity to watch it. Um,
Which
uh, Not this. Not this, entering to the dream. Not, I think that the first slides where you were talking about so emotional and physical involvement and so on, because yes, something like this. Dragon dreaming, yes. Or maybe in the quote that you wrote, that wonderful quote that you chose for the presentation. Yes, this man is primarily an image maker, and our physics substance consists of images. Our being is imaginal being, an existence in imagination. We are indeed such stuff as dreams are made of. So, do you think that we should start having a look at what the participants wrote in the Jamboard?
Yeah, I look forward to that actually.
Well, for the moment, we have hearts. Okay, let's see what
It's
is
a good
happening.
thing we have hearts. Yes.
Yes, we have hearts, and not only. Can you see evolution?
Okay. Evolution. It's a bit too small for me to read. A first-hand experience in the evolution of the Earth. Was it a first-hand experience? I'm very happy to hear that.
Mm-hmm.
Calm and airy, away from the problems. So, carbon atom does not experience many existential problems. Yeah. Wonderful, a few quiet minutes of reflection, or a relaxing colors. People are writing in handwriting. The handwriting is a bit hard, isn't it? Maybe you can take a post-it from the left rather than handwrite. Light in the soul. Very touching to read this.
Imagine that this is a kind of activity that we can do with our pupils.
Yeah, yes, it needs, of course, to make this experience complete, you need to create a space for it. A space is important. As I said, like I'm hoping that most of you would have a quiet space, but I cannot, I am being realistic, and I know that it doesn't happen in all cases. So creating a space for this to happen, ideally in nature, is the best, but even like in a classroom, having the body needs to be absolutely comfortable and feel well. Yeah.
But since we try today online, maybe in dramatic situation like snow or whatever,
Yes.
and we are not able to go at school, so we can use it with our pupils online. Since
It's an idea. It's an idea.
since we see that it works.
Yeah, I can. I have a. It's in Greek. It says, "Can we have the text that you read?" The text is easy for to send. I forgot to say that the text comes from a book. It's not mine. It comes from Stephen Harding's book called "Animate Earth: Science, Intuition, and Gaia," and it's a really fascinating book. Yeah, sure, I can send it to you, and I can send it in Greek even because I have also done it in Greek.
We will post them in the creative classroom page. Okay, no worries.
Let's read some more.
Yes.
Feel the journey with all our senses. Feel the pre-taught you felt the pre-taught vocabulary while visualizing, so it was important. Okay. You felt the vocabulary. I'm very happy to hear that. Is there something else that we didn't read that came so far?
A
Everything
journey
is
into
alive.
matter. A
The
journey into matter.
journey into matter, a journey into matter, relaxing, exciting, and exhilarating. The joy in big words, I'm very happy. Emotions. The realization that everything is alive. Yes, the animate and inanimate kingdoms are, it's a distinction that doesn't actually exist. There is a theory that says everything is alive, even the rocks are alive, in the sense that everything is in motion all the time. So this is a great enriching comment.
I don't know if the participants have already written in the second page. No, we will stay in the first one.
I see
So,
some comments in the chat. An extraordinary travel through time, a radical change of point of view. Thank you for sharing that.
we have one more comment in Greek. Ταξίδι στην ύπαρξη. Could you please write it in English because the audience is multicultural and multilingual here? And we have 2 sticks without any comment inside. Maybe it's a kind of expression, this also.
Yeah. But the mind went completely blank. I could even think that. Since we are here and in the chatting and in the reflection is also about what did not go well. So the people who had perhaps, I don't know, did anybody experience any problems with this? Like, was it, I don't know, too fast, too difficult to visualize? Was it, can you share some thoughts on that?
May I share mine? Because for me it was difficult to follow without seeing the presentation, and I start being into the dream when you said something about a volcano and explosion and so on. So I was in the volcano. I didn't feel like a molecular or something like this, but I was in the dream, and I didn't close my eyes, but I was looking at the photo that you presented to us, and to be honest, I couldn't write anything, and I congratulate everyone here that is writing something, but I can feel a calmness and like a pupil out of the strict curriculum, for example.
All right. That also matters, yes. Feeling that a class is not a class, but still learning something in the end. Yeah. Because I guess there is some learning in the end.
Yeah, always.
It
So
was great, very good. Okay. Any negative comments? Any problems, difficulties? Relaxing feeling, concentration on the body. The body is an important thing that we neglect a lot in the everyday practice of the school, yes? And sometimes the body is even mistreated because the students are told that you should sit up, you should have your back straight, or at least in Greece they do, some teachers do that. And why not lie down and listen? It's a provocative thought, yes? Why not lie down and still be concentrated on something? It's an idea that the body can feel totally comfortable and at ease. It's something that is a bit rebellious in the school practice, yes? It's not like we're not allowed to be comfortable at school. I'm talking to Greek teachers at least. I feel every step of journey and realizing ocean, rock, trees, tree roots, rain, really exciting experience for me. Thank you for sharing that. And I'm very happy to see the words feel. I feel that we left out the thought and we focus on feeling.
And don't forget also to write it in the Jamboard, because it will be a patchwork of what you felt during this dream session, and it will be posted in the Creative Classroom page now that we have the group. And Nikki, I will send it to now the link of the address of the Creative Classroom, that it has been migrated until now, and could you please share it in the chat box?
Yes, of course.
Okay, thank you.
Is there any of these post-its that we didn't read? Because I'm kind of lost. They are here and there and everywhere, and kind of we read everything. Yes. The journey into existence.
Do you want Zoe to stop sharing the Jamboard? Maybe someone would be shy and wouldn't like to.
Okay, yeah, why not?
Okay,
If
for the
people don't have
moment.
anything else to add.
I don't know.
I see a thank you here, and I see it also in another script that I don't recognize. Thank you.
We don't have any new posts here, so.
All right. And may I, since we have a little bit of time, I don't know, this is maybe for your next step, maybe I'm giving like a to the next step that if people would like, it would be interesting for me, people would like to share. Now put back critical minds and say how and if they are able to adjust this in their own school practice. Any insights or any ideas on that?
We have a hand raised. Would you be able to type it in the chat, please? And I'm going to go ahead and put the link here to the Creative Classroom group, which, as Angeliki said, has just been migrated. So you can check it out there. So we have from impersonation is a good practice, imitating theater in education.
Education. All right. So this is a next step, perhaps. Like if you like envision or dream, for example, the carbon cycle, a next step adding to it would be to act it out with small ones. So this is an idea that builds on that. Yes.
Next, life and death in endless continuum.
Continuum. I guess you mean that using this same guided meditation will give insights into life and death issues, like an endless continuum. Right, so I'm guessing you're inspired to use this one also. I think it would be used at the end of a hard lesson to relax as a relaxation practice. Dramatization could be a follow-up. Yeah, this is really interesting. Do you see other topics being let's say, put into this imagination realm rather than
History?
history. Yeah, as a game with younger students. History, yeah. Make them dream going back to history.
Like a time capsule.
A very interesting activity for making with students, especially for enhancing their ability to imagine themselves as part of the natural world. Thank you for that. Because ecology is my topic, I'm always touched by such comments. Yes, feeling part of the greater whole is the whole idea of environmental education, like picturing yourself in the big picture. Thank you for this comment.
Just an idea off the top of my head, maybe in a literature class, if you're reading a book or a story and you want to put yourself in with the characters, understand how they feel.
Yes, yes. Understanding how they feel, also like a recognition of emotions, because you guide them through emotional world also. Good, right.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Oh, okay. Cross-curricular activities with biology, maybe.
Yeah. Biology, yes. We did incorporate some elements of biology here, so you can expand on that. Yeah, being molecules, being cells, being whatever, organisms. It could be incorporated in cross-curricular topics and skills labs. You know better than me on this one, yes. Skills labs is in Greece the latest thing that allows for a lot of things to happen, but we don't know how to function in there yet as teachers. Yes.
We do have a question. How can we use this app to create a new whiteboard? I've never used this, but I believe it's a Google tool, right, Angeliki, the Jamboard?
Yeah, it is made with Google. It's very easy to do it. You can create different. Let me share the screen and explain to you some things here. It was very easy, and to be honest, I was about to create a slide or a Jamboard, so I preferred this because it is very easy to use, and you can every teacher can use it with the students. Since we fulfill this first page, we can go to the next one or to the next one. So I added some different slides. There's some different pages for the participants to write. But yeah, we can use it very easily with Google.
Okay.
And since everyone has more or less a Google account, can create this without creating any extra account.
Great.
Okay.
Great. Thank you.
So can we? Do we have anything new? No.
I
think
think
that
not.
I was expecting more reflection, to be honest, but I don't know why people are so silent, because as we said, it's really as important as our learning process is like make sure you don't go without, okay, you can keep your reflection to yourself, but a group reflection really is what, like, for each person's point of view enriches all the other people's point of view. And as in the slide with this small jigsaw pieces, every one of us holds a little piece of the truth, or a little piece of information for that matter. And when we put them together, we recreate the big image. So that's why reflection is, I insist, I know this is not the best environment for it perhaps, but in your school practices, make sure that you allow as much time for reflection afterwards. We tend to forget about it, like I give what I have to give you and then you can go home. No, let's not do that. Let's give it ample time, because I focus on this point, you focus on that point, and then you make me come back to this point with your putting light on it.
Yeah, that's a good point.
do we have any questions in the chat box? No questions.
No, I don't think so. Maybe we can do we have one comment. The relaxing activity reminded me of a book I read to my children in my class.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
What is this book? During the fine art subject we can work, it would be very interesting. Yeah, because you're already exercising this part of the brain when you're doing art. Yeah, you're working with your right brain already. Think about the combination of left brain and right brain and what they can do. This is actually presented in a learning theory that is called the dual process theory, that in any case, we are like doing both things simultaneously, like analyzing and intuition, they function together, but the school does not give enough space for this right brain. So yeah. It is about evolution. A stone is a story. I'd like some elaboration on that now.
I would like to ask, could we do it while doing mathematics?
Can we?
Why not?
I'm not a mathematician, so I'm looking for insight from you people. Like, how do you think that you could do it with mathematics? Do you think that your heroes could be the numbers or the calculations, or you can be anything in your imagination?
Yes, indeed.
It says, I am a EVET teacher, so my pupils could imagine a situation that they need to resolve.
Right. Yes.
Very true.
In your dream, being given a situation, and yeah, you're building on it. Geometry is more suitable.
With the shapes.
Yeah, with the shapes.
So we have here also problem solving and critical thinking development skills, while trying to cultivate these skills. So it's a very wide field for the creative classroom. What do you think? I think that most of the participants here are members of the group. So when the final migration will be at its end, you can see all the group members. For the moment, we have 15,000 and some hundreds, and I hope that soon it will be all the 2,200 and 500 participants visible, and the pages as well. So I will feed the homepage with this photo from the Jamboard and also the link in case you would like to write what you felt during the dream session. And then when Zoe sends me the story and we have the presentation, the recorded link from Nikki. I will post them everything in the group's page, homepage for the moment. Okay.
Yes, and I shared the link once again to the Creative Classroom group on ESEP, just so you have it right there. Thank you, Zoe, once again for taking the time and for guiding us through this exercise. And of course, thank you, Angeliki, for organizing it and bringing Zoe in. And thank you, of course, also to all of you for following it this afternoon. So I think we're going to go ahead and stop the recording here.